So I was hanging out at Starbucks a bunch of years ago with a friend of mine who was pontificating on the genius of Starbucks. He said to me, look, it's not the coffee. He said, what they've done is arrange the space such that everyone sitting at Starbucks looks like they belong in a Gap ad. He said, even you, Alex, and if Starbucks can make you look like you belong in a Gap ad, they are working miracles. Hello, welcome to Sunday's Best 3 Minutes, where we're not making Gap ads, but we are taking one big idea from Sunday's message and bringing it to you in a portable package. Today we're closing out our series, working through the oldest Christian creed, and we're looking at this line, I believe in the communion of the saints. The idea is that Christians are participating in a 2,000-year-old community of people who have all followed Jesus together. And the way the communion of saints is made to work is that it brings out the best in us, makes us most alive, most awake, the most real us God intended us to be in the first place. See, at Starbucks, we look like we belong in a Gap ad through a little bit of smoke and mirrors, especially with me. But when we step foot into the communion of saints, following Jesus, we become the actual beauty, goodness, and wonder that God put in us to begin with. Well, at one point in the New Testament, the writer of Hebrews rattles off this long list of Old Testament heroes, guys like Abraham and people like Sarah, Moses, Noah. You might have seen some of them in movies recently. The list of people is crazy diverse. Men, women, shepherds, prophets, farmers, prostitutes, prime ministers. There are people with charming social skills and people you would not want at your next party. And after he rattles off this crazy long list of people, all these diverse names, he summarizes it all this way. We are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. Do you know what kind of person has flourished and would flourish in God's redemptive story throughout history? Everyone and every type. This is the one place where all of us can find a home, a story that doesn't destroy our uniqueness, but instead redeems it, blesses it, burns off the junk, and then invites us into God's work to bless and redeem the nations. All of this takes place in this great cloud of witnesses, the communion of saints. And the invitation to everyone this week is simply, have you found your place in this great cloud of witnesses? Some of you aren't Jesus people. Thanks so much for watching. None of us started out Jesus people. You're invited to step into this great cloud of witnesses too and see what all the fuss is about. Others of us, we're Jesus people, but we don't always know how to find our way into this communion of saints. I want to invite everyone to lean into this great cloud of witnesses and to watch what God does when we find our place here. It's messy. It's nothing near or close to perfect or good or always working the way it should, but it's the one place where every person and every personality can come alive and find their true home and be a part of God's redemptive history and work all around the world. As we close out this week, I want to give a shout out to our brothers and sisters in Charleston. We're praying for you. We're mourning with you as a part of our communion together. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Sunday's Best 3